Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law through this channel. I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this is a journey with investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategic or compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades. We do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video, we're going to be looking at MMTLP, and in the current legal update, we're going to be sharing with you details of MMTLP trading around $500 to $1,000 on Tiger Brokers. So we do have screenshots for that, and we will be sharing those as well, so stay tuned for that. We're also going to be looking at Tesla deliveries, some saying it's a hit, some saying it's a miss, but however the share price is down, and does that represent a good buying opportunity before we get the news with regard to robo-taxis. So we're also going to be sharing with you two stocks that we've been watching this week in our watch list, weekly watch list. So before we get started, let's have a look at what's happening in the market. So from Bloomberg, we can see traders are betting on $100 a barrel oil as the Middle East risk escalates. So oil, one of the oil stocks is one of my investments from the previous week, shared in the Discord, and right now we're looking at 27 million barrels of Brent, $100 calls traded. So some are hedging against price spikes, so we will have to wait and see. So from Investopedia, we can also see here the stock market slightly lower as the market is looking to recover from the sell-off, and we also have jobs news. In terms of a summary of the jobs news, the US economy added a better than expected 143,000 jobs in September, beating the forecast for 124,000. So that's the highest monthly total since June. So overall, it is good news. Let's now have a look at deliveries with regard to Tesla. So if we have a look at the history going back to 2018, we can see here again confusion with regard to was it a hit or a miss, but certainly it's reported the best Q3 deliveries ever and the best quarter this year. So this could potentially be a dip for Tesla in terms of the robo-taxi news in 8 days. We also have earnings coming in October as well, so I think possibly a good opportunity. And finally, from the Discord, shout out here to the live chat channel where we shared news with regard to RTX, ticker symbol RTX. So this is something that was a defense trade, and we can see here it's up in excess of 74% on the year, and this buy was made a couple of weeks ago before the current world situation. Before we look at MMTLP, I'd like to share two of the stocks that we have been watching in the weekly watch list. This is shared exclusively in the Discord prior to trading on a Monday. The first one was ticker symbol IONQ. So this was showing signs of reversal on the Friday, and there was also news with regard to the company signing a $54.5 million contract. Link shared in the Discord. So if we have a look at the news here for the chart for IONQ, again we can see here it's doing exceptionally well on the week, and it's also up today in excess of 12.61% at $9.20 and at time of editing. So congratulations to everybody in on IONQ. And the other one I'm going to share with you is ticker symbol MSTR, one of the best performing stocks of the year, currently in good momentum and also showing improvements in terms of analyst ratings. Again, link shared in the Discord. And if we have a look at the chart for MSTR, also known as MicroStrategy, at one time it was up in excess of 5%. I think it has pulled back a little bit, but still in good long-term momentum. And if you would also like to get a copy of all my buy and sell alerts, these are shared exclusively also on savvytrader.com. So if you'd like to get a copy of all my buy and sell alerts, there is a stock that I've just invested in, but as well as that, there is also two stocks that I sold in September, one for a gain of 28%, another one for a gain of 32%. And I've also invested in a dividend stock, details there as well. So let's now go ahead and have a look at the news with regard to MMTLP. Have a look at the latest legal updates for MMTLP from Scott in terms of his arguments against GTS and Ari Rubenstein, and what he posted earlier is that he's just filed his objection to GTS and Ari Rubenstein's motion to dismiss. Obviously we're looking at triple damages if successful, just like RICO, and if he loses, RICO counts. We have multiple fallback positions against GTS, so I think there is a very, very strong case here. He states, obviously, we are up against corruption and fraud, and that is breathtaking in its pervasiveness. So let's move ahead, and we see here at the bottom, the objection here is for Rubenstein and GTS Securities against their motion to dismiss. So let's have a look at some of the arguments presented, and we can see here in terms of point number 1 at the bottom, Scott is one of the smallest shareholders of MMTLP, so he's not coming in as a whale or somebody with thousands and thousands of shares. So he is fighting this again single-handedly, and a lot of this is obviously because of the denial of the 2 days of trading and denial of what was owed. So it's not about the number of shares. So number 2, in terms of the short squeeze, there have been statements with regard to FINRA about this that were previously shared. But what Scott is saying is that a short squeeze was underway at least as early as 5th of December 2022, triggering FINRA to issue its notorious U3 trading halt after it illegally altered the corporate action for MMTLP on 6th of December 2022 and 8th of December 2022. So with regard to GTS, is going to also be used to refer to Rubenstein in this argument here, and what we can see here in the next section is point number 34. GTS sold naked shorts legally using the market maker exemption in MMTLP. So that's some of the, we could say, some of the nefarious allegations and stated there from GTS point of view. And in section 2, prior cases involving MMTLP shareholders are distinguishable from Scott in terms of the legal environment existence when those were filed, the evidence presented and constitutional changes maintained. So obviously we've had cases from Richard, with Alan, we've had Rosa, we've had Mark, but this one obviously is distinguishable, different. He's coming from many angles, and I think, well, from my point of view, what's more interesting in here is some of the recordings that Scott is going to present, and all the evidence combined from all the cases into this single one. So GTS is looking longingly for support in other cases involving MMTLP. So they're trying to look at all the arguments in the previous cases to fight Scott. So it seems most of the attorneys facing Scott are placing legal emphasis on defective pickup trucks and crooked violent cops. I would also add on there, they're also looking for his situation with regard to his divorce as well. So moving on, in the previous filing on the last day of trading for MMTLP, GTS allowed short positions to be opened in an amount of 15 million shares alone. Again, staggering there, creating a vast field of fail to deliver. So we do know this. The only way FINRA can prove this is wrong is by giving us the data. So under section 3, RICO open-ended continuity and threshold damages burden has been pled. Now let's move on to Tiger Trades, and at the bottom, Singapore exchanges as evidenced by Tiger brokers, and proof from sales that MMTLP used monikers used by Tiger were between $500 and $1,000 per share. So it goes on to say, in terms of Appendix E, which we're going to look at shortly, the screenshot data in Appendix E was taken pre-market in terms of the Singapore exchange on the days highlighted. The level 2 pricing increased from roughly $500 per share to just over $1,000 a share over this time frame. Tiger Brokers utilizes a company called TradeUp. TradeUp is a member and is overseen by FINRA, so there's the connection. FINRA and the SEC should have then therefore been able to see this activity, so they have the proof. So the court is also within its power to issue an adverse inference against Schwab in the case and set a value of Scott's shares of, I would say, what he stated here is $290 per share based on the admission by Schwab employee Ron Fleming that it was trading over 100 times the lit market price. So this is, I think, is the dynamite evidence that Scott has. This recording from Ron Fleming. So let's now proceed to have a look at those appendixes. So from the images he shared in Appendix E with regard to Tiger Brokers, we can see highlighted in yellow at the top we have sell orders for around about $511 per share. One of them is for 100 shares, one of them is for 200 shares, and then we can see buy orders for the same price, $511, and one of those is for 15 shares. So let's have a look at the other images. So the next image here is after the U3 halt, and again highlighted in yellow we can see a sell order for $1,037.99 per share for 75 shares, and then a buy order for $1,036 per share, that's for 252 shares. And in the next image, this is before the halt. Again, same broker, sell order here at the top for 20 shares, $1,049.84, and the other two at the bottom are sell orders. One of them is $1,046.92 for $100 per share. So the argument presented by Scott is very, very clear. FINRA and the SEC have the proof of this, and they just need to provide that. So moving on to the other section here, what Scott has also stated is that Scott was damaged in his finances and the property interest he had in MMTLP to provable level of around about $88,450, at least by GTS acts or omissions to act and GTS's endeavours. So they do need to answer that allegation. And in subsection 12 at the bottom, here on page 13, it states, upon information and belief, the shorts in MMTLP may be over 900 million. So that would certainly be something that FINRA would have been aware of, and that could be one of the things that caused them to issue the U3 halt, to protect the people behind that. And then under section 9, what Scott has added is it's amended claims to be added. So he's now looking at claim for relief for market manipulation, claim for relief in terms of common law and fraud, violation of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, and that is with regard to unauthorized access and market manipulation. So the same law again, but this time for unauthorized data manipulation. Then is also an allegation of violation of the Stored Communications Act. So I'm assuming that is to do with regard to them losing the recording or not making that recording available with Ron Fleming. Then we've got a violation of FINRA Rule 203 Section B Part 2, and that is with regard to naked short selling. And the other one he's using is violation of the Clayton Act, and this is for treble damages. And at the end, we can see Scott has finished off, and this is dated 30th of September 2024. And finally, if you would like to get breaking news and research in stocks such as DD, and as well as a copy of our daily stock alerts and our weekly watch list, details are in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.